1953, we moved to Ackworth. My real mother had died in Wichita, Kansas. My dad's a Tennessee guy, but we had lived in Wichita. He was with the Cessna aircraft and Boeing out there. And so, but my mother passed away very young, 31 years old, with 4 kids, and my dad being a very young widower. My grandparents lived in Maryville, Tennessee. We came to Maryville and stayed there. My dad came on down to Lockheed in '53, and in October '53, he married a lady that he had met here in Georgia from Ackworth. Her name was Ruth Hill, and she had never been married. She was 31 years old. They knew each other a week and got married. They were happily married for 31 years, and we had the best stepmother in the world. So it was so surprising. My stepmother she'd never had any children, so to have 4 little kids, she just thought that was something. She would get us ready for school. We lived on Cowan Road at the time. It was a dirt road, and I said by the time the bus got stopped, the dust had settled on all of us. But love Ackworth, and so went to Ackworth Elementary. Never did go to Autry, went on to North Cobb. I went from high school, I went on to Chattahoochee Tech, did a lot of accounting and all that over there. And then then after getting in the bank, I did everything the American Banking Institute offered. I had all their courses, of course, during the time and everything. After that, I went on to, my sisters all worked for Allen's 5 and 10 in high school. I went to Eaton's department store, and Ronald and Amachine Heaton were one of the 2 finest people I know. And after I graduated, Ron was on the board of Bank of Ackworth, and the bank called me and wanted me to come to work for them. I had just gone to work at Lockheed, had 4 months in, got my 90 days, and I decided to take my dad, who was at Lockheed, said, "You don't have seniority, and that's the big deal here, but do what you want to do." So I went to the bank, started a 47-year career. So loved it, just always. I went to work in October, and in March of '65, we moved here where City Hall is. And we thought we had such a big bank, and by the time we got moved in, it was too small. That was '65, and then in 1973, FNB Cobb purchased the Ackworth Bank and doubled the size. When they bought us, they were a $100 million bank, and we were a $10 million bank. But I guess the reason they wanted us, the previous year, we made half the money that they made. So when you consider return on your investment, there wasn't, I could see where people would want to buy the stock. So did very well with that. And I stayed with F&B until 1983, and was called from the National Bank of Georgia to see if I wanted a job. And they made me an offer, and that was a good move. Spent about 19 years here, and then went down the street for a much better offer, but took a lot of my regular customers with me, which I'm sure that's what they had in mind. So it just all worked out, When I was first in banking, there was no bank in Kennesaw. In 1964, there was no bank in Kennesaw. There were very few banks out Woodstock way, nothing Emerson. So Bank of Ackworth really, I kind of think, had a monopoly on banking because we just did a very big area, First in the bank, one of my jobs was to, when we had money shipped in from the Fed, it would come through the depot, and I had a wagon there that I would pull up, come up from that, I remember, like Main Street there, would just go up the street there to the depot, cross the street and everything, put bags of money in that wagon, and of course there were coin, and there were, of course, a lot of currency, and never felt threatened, never felt like I looked behind me or something. And somebody asked me, said, "What? Did you ever get into banking?" And I said, Bank of Ackworth had the coldest water fountain. So they're asking me for a good educated thing, and I come back and say that was the coldest water in town. So when we came here in '53, I could tell then that this was going to be home. I had, like I say, I had the best stepmother in the world, and Dad had Lockheed, and so it was just a place to live. We never wanted to live in Marietta or any, it was just Ackworth. So we've been very pleased here. I can't say enough how thankful I am for my life here. I really feel like it's all family, and thankful for the things that happen, and I feel very blessed.